Let's talk to our political correspondent, Simon Young, who's following this story for us. Hi, Simon. We heard Angela Merkel there saying she's aiming for bi, tri, or multilateral agreements rather than a Europe-wide deal. That sounds complicated.
Well, indeed. I mean, previously Angela Merkel was saying that she hoped that an EU-wide deal would come out at the end of all this wrangling. But now she's clearly saying she doesn't believe that can happen even after the EU summit. So what's the alternative? Well, it's smaller groups of nations getting together or even bilateral deals. And they have one advantage, which is that they can come into force and be organised more quickly, obviously, than a sort of pan-European deal. On the other hand, they can end up being rather costly if Germany has to, promise lots of cash in exchange for countries getting control of migration.
At the same time, Simon, at a press conference at the end of her trip to Lebanon, Merkel was asked about this idea of these so-called disembarkation centres in countries outside the EU where refugees could register an asylum claim. Let's listen to what she said.
We think that there are also good reasons to accommodate refugees close to their home country, as the Prime Minister has said. And we see our role as being a reliable partner when it comes to financing those projects.
All right, Simon, do you think that this is a solution that's likely to emerge from this weekend's meeting?
Well, not really. It's not a new idea. It's been suggested before. The problem is which countries would actually host those centres outside the EU. Could it be Tunisia? Perhaps, but they've actually rejected this idea in the past. Could it be Libya? Perhaps, but the human rights situation there is, of course, catastrophic. And it'll take a while, as I said, to put such ideas into place. So Angela Merkel has suggested, this weekend's meeting is really an exchange of ideas and not about producing solutions even of that kind.
And this has all been prompted by Angela Merkel's domestic political problems, the pressure she's facing. Is she finding sympathy for her position?
Not at all. She's highly embattled. Of course, she's got support from within her own party, who are accusing the Bavarian Conservatives of trying to force the government to the right. But on their side, the Bavarian Conservatives, led by Horst Seehofer, the Interior Minister, he says, "Oh well, I've wakened the European Union up with a kiss, like some sort of fairy tale prince, as he sees it." And he set this meeting of his party for just 2 days after the European summit, essentially underlining the idea that Angela Merkel faces an ultimatum to get European results, or he's going to take action which could bring down the government. And don't forget, it's 100 days today since this government came into office, and they're looking very wobbly.
All right, our political correspondent, Simon Young, with the latest. Thank you very much, Simon.